Folks, let's just cut to the chase. Holy shit. We got ourselves a hell of a season. A hell of a season ahead of us. Whew, okay. Welcome to the very first episode of Danmachi Season 3 episode reviews. Oh, it feels so good. I watched episode 1. I just finished it. And, last time I did this, last time I reviewed stuff, I didn't write any notes. I just went based off of memory. But I wrote notes like crazy, alright? And I couldn't even see what I wrote. I was just writing. I was just writing on like thousands of sticky notes. So I'm going to go through all those sticky notes with terrible writing because I saw the show in the dark. And it's on Crunchyroll. Apparently it's on Crunchyroll, pog. And the second episode's already out, apparently. So, I mean, I could do a thing there. I could just watch it now, but I'm not. I'm doing it day by day. Oh, episode 1. All I can say is that I didn't account for something. So, last episode, what my theory is that Belle was going to protect Wiene. It would be a possibility that the Familia was going to agree or not, and all this kind of stuff. And I also said that Belle and his Familia might be really hated by a lot of people. And they're like, everyone in Mario might be against Belle and all that kind of stuff. And that stuff seemed to be suggested due to that, due to the two posters that I saw with Ace holding a sword at Belle's neck, and then, Hermes looking like darky looking, and then Ace looking sad or something, and then Hestia looking like Hestia. But dudes, there's so much more. So I didn't account for the fact that they could just keep Wiene at the mansion. Like, I don't know why I didn't account for that. So let me talk about episode 1 of season 3 of Danmachi Memoria Freeze, Wiene, Dragon's Daughter. Now, before we do anything, let me do the gacha. There's a lot to talk about. It was a good episode. It was a very good episode. Honestly, a really good starting episode to the season. So, I mean, folks, let's just talk about it. So, actually, first of all, let me get all my notes together. Because I have so many notes. Like, you wouldn't believe how many notes I have. So I'm going to start from my first note, which is we start the episode on the 19th floor. It's this cool little forest. That's like really rugged. I would say like it's a fungi forest. And before I continue from that, I think that's really cool. That we start off on floor 19, or the 19th floor, because I believe last episode, Belle said to Aina, that he was thinking about going to the 19th floor. So it just follows up absolutely perfectly. I love that so much. Love the consistency. So yeah, we start off on the 19th floor. It's a cool forest. And Wiene is running away from a bunch of hunters. Because obviously she's a monster and whatnot, and so she's being chased by hunters, and she's running away and all this kind of stuff. And then Belle nearby is fighting this phoenix-looking monster, and in the middle of that, he finds Wiene, and just as he's about to attack her, he pauses and he's like, oh, you're a human. And so what he does is that the Phoenix guy, the Phoenix freaking bird comes up again, and Belle protects Wiene because it seems that the Phoenix bird is gonna kill Wiene, is aiming for Wiene, and so Belle protects Wiene, kills the Phoenix, and then at the same time puts a salamander wool around Wiene, because then the hunters come Belle's way. They're like, hey, have you seen the monster and all that kind of stuff? It's like, no, I haven't seen the monster. I haven't seen a monster. And so Belle is then like, hey, do you guys have a potion? I have somebody here who is really hurt. Because Wiene, when Belle met her, she was bleeding because they had hit her and all that kind of stuff, and she tripped and all that. And so he's like, do you guys have a potion? And then they're like, screw you, dude. And so the hunters leave, and Belle is just with Wiene, and his familia members, good old Welf, Makoto, Lily, and Haruhime, all catch up with him, and they're like, who do you have there? And he's like, let's go to the 18th floor. So they go to the 18th floor, and on the 18th floor, they're sort of like in that rocky terrain area on the 18th floor. And, Lily then asks the question that everybody's asking in the Familia probably, of who is that person? And Belle doesn't want to say anything, but Wiene is sort of scared because they're all asking, like, who is this? Who is this person? Who is this person? And then Wiene just trips back on a rock, and the salamander over her head is uncovered, and it uncovers her to be a monster. And everybody in the Familia instantly is just hates her instantly. And they pull out their swords, Lily readies her bow, like, within a second, and Belle's like, don't hurt her. And so I gotta get all my notes. I have so many notes. So Belle's trying to protect her from everybody, and they're shooting, like, they're not shooting, but, like, they're ready to kill Wiene. When Lily is like, Belle, how could you? This isn't like you. That's a monster. That's, like, we have to kill it. Get away. And then Wiene, after hearing Lily say Belle, Wiene says, like, Wiene is for, like, a minute or two struggling to say his name, but she ends up saying Belle. And then they're like, what the fuck? He can talk? And so from there everybody's like, please, can I protect her? And then Lily is like, God damn it, do what the fuck you want. And then from there, obviously, following suit with Lily, everyone is with Belle's decision with saving Wiene and saving Wiene in that moment. After that, now this is crazy. So much crazy stuff happened in this episode. We saw so many characters that I haven't seen in absolute ages. Not even in the show, I think. We see the next scene as they're, like, heading up back to the surface. We see Uranus and Fells. Holy shit. We see them talking, and they're like, this is definitely an interesting situation, because they're the freaking overlookers of the dungeon, and they're like, this is a very interesting thing. And Fells is like, what do you want me to do, Uranus? And Uranus is like, let's see if Hestia Familia can be the Familia that can bridge the gap between humans and monsters living in harmony. Which I forgot to mention at the beginning of the episode, as does every season, Hestia has that beautiful monologue, which I always forget about, and she talks about how humans and monsters will never live in harmony, and this and that, and and gods can't do anything to help this or something like that, and yeah, it's just very interesting. And then Uranus, of course, like I said, Uranus is like, maybe Hestia Familia can be the Familia that does this, even though this is like a really stressful situation, a really wacky situation we're in, because Hestia Familia has gained so much traction because of what happened in the second season, and so he tells Fels to do nothing, to just stand by. And so that's what happens there. Where did I put that sticky note? I'm just trying to keep all my sticky notes together. Oh right. Once again, I just been reading stuff off my head. Uranus, just again, Uranus wants to see if Hestia Familia could be the Familia to close the bridge between humans and monsters. All right, continuing. So all, like, the Hestia Familia is back at the mansion now. That's the next scene. And there is where we learn, well, there is where, Hestia is like, what? A monster? Like, what? And then she's, like, completely fine with it the next second. But before no, yeah. So, I'm just, like, really happy about this whole episode. So they bring Wiene to the mansion, and Hestia's like, oh, wow, that's cool, and whatever, and anyway, to get to the point, Wiene, Wiene, Belle, Makoto, all them, sitting in the little, like, conversation hall or whatnot, all together. Wiene is, now I won't say this yet, but just know that, yeah, I won't say what I'm going to say yet, but I will mention that in this scene, it's mentioned, it's not the first time that it's mentioned, but it is mentioned that Wiene's race is actually a Vulia, or something like that. It's I think it's spelled Vouire. I don't know what a Vuiriers is, but that's her race. On top of that, this scene also includes Belle naming Wiene, because Wiene doesn't have a name. Because when Hestia asks what her name is, she's like, Beru. And Belle's like, no, that's my name. And then he's like, and then everyone's like, well, you should name her Belle because you saved her. And he's like, okay. And he says, I'm gonna call her. I think he said I'm gonna call her Virgin or something, like, what the or Virginine or something. And then Hestia intrudes with saying, let's shorten that to Wiene. And so Belle and Hestia actually came up with Wiene's name. So that's so cool. That's so cool. All right. So after that, what happens? Or no, in that same scene, but after, like, that little interaction, Hestia, or everyone besides Belle, Haruhime, and Wiene all decide to split up to find more about, I guess, talking monsters, or monsters that talk, and if there are more, and all that kind of stuff. And that's sort of like the huge plot line this episode. That's like the A plot of sorts. And then the B plot is Haruhime, Belle, and Wiene, which we'll get to in a minute. But yeah, Familia splits up to find more about Wiene and where she, whether she has others or whatever. Now let me see. Hold on. I have this one card. That I think I messed up somewhere. Oh, right. So, okay, I'll get to that. in a minute. All right. So, who they talk to first. So, they all split up, right? And so, the first person that we see go to is Makoto, who talks to Take and Mayak. Um, and they haven't heard anything. Hestia talks to Hephaestus, or Hephaestus. She doesn't know much. And then, let me see. I have so many notes. Welf goes to the guild, where there's gossip about this armored monster. So this is actually another cool thing that I wanted to say. It's very small detail, very minute, but folks, we've watched this series through and through. We know every single little thing that's gonna like pop up here and there. Kind of, maybe not really. But my point is that if y'all remember from last episode, which I'm so glad that last episode includes so many things that follow into this episode. Last episode, we heard about there being rumors about an armored monster. And that was actually properly shown this season. When Welf went to the guild to find out more information, there is this picture posted of that armored monster up on the quest board by Aina, and Welf was like, "This can't be," or like something like that, and we just really didn't get much after that. And then of course, yeah, my next note was armored monster in the news. Yeah. And then after that, alright, so this is the thing that I already mentioned. Wiene is still wearing Belle's salamander's wool, and the reason why I'm mentioning Wiene is that we go back to Wiene. Wiene, Haruhime, and Belle are laying on the grass outside of the mansion. I think in the backyard of the mansion, hopefully, so nobody suspects, like, hey, that looks like a monster. And so they're in the backyard of the mansion, laying out on the grass, and Wiene, who's never seen the outside world, she thinks the sun is warm. Like, she's on her back, laying on the grass, and she holds her hands up to the sky. She's like, the sun is so warm. I'm like, oh, that's so adorable. What else? So much fucking stuff. And then after this, we go follow Lily, which Lily has a very interesting part. Or not Lily has a... Yeah, Lily's thing goes somewhere. So Lily dresses up as her synthrope self, and asks a bartender about if he's seen any talking monsters, and instead meets Laloon, who apparently she knows the alias of, which the alias I already forgot of Laloon, but she meets Laloon there, and asks Laloon for some money, and Laloon becomes suspicious of Lily, but Lily then leaves, and as she leaves the bar, she's being tailed by Laloon, but, escapes. We'll get back to the whole reason why Laloon has heard... Oh, yeah, so Laloon heard rumors that someone else wants to know about talking monsters. We'll get to that. There's so much. The whole talking monsters bit, there's so much there. Again, we'll get back to that. Laloon is a huge part about that. And once again, like I said, Laloon is following Lily, sorry. And then after that, we cut to Belle, Wiene, and Haru having a picnic. And Wiene eats onigiri. And Wiene also eats... oh god, what else did she eat? Wiene loves onigiri, yeah. If you don't know what onigiri is, by the way, it's the triangle rice thing. It's like the rice. It's the thing that they make in anime. It's the thing that they make in Japan. That's like you mold rice into like a triangle shape, and you have seaweed, like flat seaweed to like hold it up or something, or like on the bottom of it. And then usually when you make onigiri, you put a flavor into it. So yeah, that's what onigiri is if you don't know. Now I have a bit of a problem. Oh, right. So, Wayne loves onigiri. And just want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. Yeah, I'm not missing anything. So, Wayne loves onigiri, and I think she likes something else, but I forgot about that right now. I'm drawing a blank on whatever else she had liked. Yeah, I'm drawing a bit of a blank there. Anyway, so during the picnic scene, they're all having fun, and Wiene, and I'm gonna mention this now. Wiene is very attached to Belle, because obviously Belle saved her, and Belle and Hestia named her, and all that kind of stuff. So Wiene is very attached to Belle, but the problem is that Wiene, since she's so attached to Belle, she wants to grab Belle's arm, she wants to, hug him and all this kind of stuff. Problem is, she has really long fingernails, like really long and sharp fingernails, and so during the picnic, Wiene, that's the other thing that Wiene liked. Wiene liked fruit. And also, Wiene loves to be with Belle, and accidentally, as she has her hand around his arm, she accidentally cuts him. Like 3 huge cuts in his arm. And Wiene feels really bad, and Haruhime goes inside to get some Band-Aids for Belle. And, Wiene is crying. She's like, "I'm so sorry, Belle. I didn't mean to do that." And it was just a very, it's like, oh my god, what's Belle gonna do? And, because Wiene, goes out to, reach out for Belle. And I'm thinking, Bella's gonna hurt her or something, but no, Bella's Belle, the absolute Chad. The absolute Chad. Like I said, she starts crying, but Belle comforts her and says all is okay, and they're just hugging. And Haruhime sees that, and it's just adorable. And guess who else sees that? You think it's Hestia as the camera pans upward of the mansion, but no, it's a vulture with a yellow or blue eye, right left eye or something like that, which was very interesting to see, because earlier today for a homework assignment I watched Edgar Allan Poe, a movie made by someone based on Edgar Allan Poe's The Telltale Heart, which included an old man, who had a yellow eye or a blue eye, a vulture eye. A vulture eye. That's who is watching them, a vulture. A vulture watches over the prior moment. Very interesting. And they noticed that. So anyway, at the end of the day, no one figured out anything. And when they got home, when all the family members got home, Wiene said, "Welcome back," even though she was, really nervous. She was, really cute and nervous and fidgety and whatnot, and she was like, "Okarinasai," or something like that, and I was like, oh, that is so adorable. And then she hid behind Haruhime and freaking pushed Haruhime. Not, pushed her to the ground, but, just slightly pushed her to, be hidden from everybody. From that moment, they all have food. One thing that I haven't mentioned, that throughout the episode, Makoto, Welf, Lily, they're all very wary. They're all very uncertain in some senses, about, having, taking care of Wiene and knowing about Wiene and all this kind of stuff. But we'll get to that later. The next scene, it's a dinner scene. All of them are together. Wiene's getting fed by Hestia and Makoto. Makoto, like, blushes because of something that Wiene says about her cooking. That's right. Yeah, Wiene loves Makoto's cooking. That's the thing. And Makoto's like, you don't say, and it's like, oh, that's so nice. And during this scene, Lily sort of gets triggered, because it's like, I guess she's just jealous in a sense, or she's just wary. Again, like, she just doesn't trust Wiene, I guess. My next note is everyone is still wary of Wiene. Perfect. Now, hold on. Alright, so then after the scene, it's bath time. Hestia, Makoto, Lily Haru, and Wiene, they're all in the women's side of the hot spring, like, bath time thing. You get what I mean. They're on their side, and Wiene's like, Wiene, the adorable little one she is, she's like, Wiene asks why Belle isn't with them. Because, again, she's very she's attached to Belle. She's very, they weren't wrong when they said that Wiene is a very, like, childish character. She is. And I don't know, I think that makes this whole episode a lot more, like, chill. Which I like. And so they respond by being like, you gotta understand, like, there's a difference between males and females. I mean, like, come on. And anyway, they're in the bath, and as per usual, like, they're talking a little bit here and there, and then Lily looks at everyone else's breasts and is like, man, everybody here has such great breasts and I don't, and she's just, as per usual, she's just, anyway, just thought I should mention that, because why not? Also, on top of that, after that whole conversation, Wiene is just so out of it that Wiene is like, you know what, I'm just gonna go to Belle's side, and then I think she successfully goes to Belle's side, but we don't really know. So, anyway, after that scene, Welf gets her nails cut by Welf. Welf cuts Wiene's. You get what I mean. You get what I was saying, which is really cool. And the note that I already mentioned before, like, a million times, Wiene is really attached to Belle, and Lily is jealous, and we're suspects, and we're suspicious, and we're jealous, and Wiene suspects. What does Wiene suspect? Oh yeah, and Wiene suspects that Lily is jealous, and that. Oh yeah, so Wiene seeing that, Lily has been, like, really, like, iffy with everybody this episode, like, at least in Wiene's eyes. Wiene is like, do you hate Belle, Lily? And then Lily's like, no. And then Wiene's like, do you love him? And then like, she turns bright red, and she's like, and then after that, everyone says they love Belle, and Belle vice versa then says, I love everyone, and then Wiene says the same thing, and then Lily is like, fine, I love Belle, Jesus Christ. So that was funny. And I'm so glad that I documented every single goddamn thing in this episode. Then after that, they all start going to bed. The first people we see, start going to bed is Haru and Makoto. Makoto's like, we're all so wary of her and all that kind of stuff. What do you think, Haru? Should we keep her? And then Haru's like, I'm on Belle's side about this. I'm with Belle, and she doesn't want Wiene. She doesn't want to abandon Wiene. She also wants to be Lei Hero, like Lei Belle, like she was to Lei Talavi. Y'all remember Talavi? Oh my gosh, Talavi was so cool. Then we cut to this really cool scene, which I don't know, everything in this episode was cool. But there's something about Lily and Welf interactions that we need a lot more. Because I think, in my eyes at least, I feel like the two most mature people, I'm not saying that Makoto's not mature and Haruhime is not mature, but I feel like the real, not the real, because everyone in this family is like brothers and sisters over here, you know what I mean? Like, everybody loves each other, familial love, you know what I mean? But I really like to see the interactions between the sort of little sister figure that is Lily, kind of, and then the big brother figure that is Welf. But do you think that, oh yeah, Belle's the big brother, so he knows more than Lily? But it's not really, because Lily is maybe just as old as Welf. And so their conversations are very interesting, and basically, Lily is on the couch in the meeting room or whatever, and Welf is there as well, and he's like trying to sharpen his blades and whatnot. And Lily says to him, Lily knows that they're in a dangerous situation. She says they're, like, because they're holding Wiene, they're in an incredibly tight situation, like, incredibly dangerous thing. You know what I mean? Which I made apparent, and I'm glad that she made apparent, because she also says, like, if word gets out, everybody could start coming after us, the guild could come after us and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, yes, Lily talking about the things that I was talking about. Well, I don't think she really said that, but like, let's just imagine that she did. After that whole scene between them, Belle, Wiene, and Hestia are all sleeping together. A happy family. A real happy family, honestly. They're all just sleeping together. And it's funny because Belle's like, hey, Hestia, why don't you just sleep in your own room? And she's like, and I want to keep Wiene, safe and all that. And it's like, Hestia, you're really just making an excuse just to stay with Belle. I mean, it's painfully obvious. But obviously they didn't sleep like right next to each other. It was Wiene protected the both of them, I suppose. So while the three of them are in bed, Belle and Wiene talk at night. Now this is very interesting. There's so much interesting stuff that I'm about to talk about right now. So Belle and Wiene talk at night, and she talks about this scary dream in which I think she said she kills a lot of people. People like Belle, as in, adventurers. And she has that dream, her body grows cold. And just very short notes now. And during that whole like exploitation of, oh yeah, I had this dream where I kill everybody, Hestia hears that whole conversation, is like, Now going on to very more interesting things, we see Hermes' familia all gathered in, I think, this ruined part of Arario, and Hermes, the dashingly devilish man he is. Like just sits calmly, like he's sort of like in a hammock position, but he's got his back against like a broken wall, and he's just chill. He's just the chill looking Hermes, and he's talking with his familia, and he's like, we need to collect info on the talking monsters and all that kind of stuff. And he's like, do y'all have anything for today? And then Laloon says, there was this one elven fella, but besides that, nothing much. And he's like, ah, oh, damn it, Oranos, you really got us into something. And with that, you know, Hermes ends off his little meeting with opening this scroll and says, I think it might be the Akelos familia. And then it just ends there. And then from there we ended off, the meeting breaks up. And then we're introduced to the most PogChamp outro, where we get to see a lot of hints in the season that I didn't write down because there was too many. So I think we get to see the armored monster. We see the little scene where Aes has a sword up close to Belle's neck. We see Aes a little pissed off. In some scenes, we see Belle with a whole bunch of new adventurers and I guess monsters, which is very interesting. Apparently, I assume at least that he's gonna get a monster team on his side. Which also includes Wiene. We see him fight against this weird-looking feller that's like standing on top of cages that look like monster cages to me. It looks like one of the guys that runs Monsterphilia, which I find very interesting. And so I'm assuming that's the Akelos familia, but I'm not sure. We also see Seer, Haruhime, Ryu, and just like the background parts. Then yeah. Oh yeah, we also see like a silhouette of the dragon. We see Wiene a few times, everybody a few times. Honestly, that's all I can remember. And then at the end of it all, we're introduced. Well, not introduced. We're actually let me go through the outro to see if I missed anything really quickly. Hold on. So Belle and Wiene sitting on the couch. We see Aisha, like I said, Ryu and Seer. We see the familia shopping. Aina looking out into the window. Aes killing a huge monster, looking pissed off. We see this grown-up looking Subaru, and I say Subaru, Subaru meaning from freaking Ray Zero. I say Subaru from Ray Zero because his jacket is sort of like Subaru's jacket. Who looks kind of sus. And then we're like thrown into like this weird like visual perspective of like zooming, or not zooming in, but like going past a lot of characters and then zooming in on this one character. And this one character is holding a book, which I'm assuming is a grimoire, who looks like who is the guy that I was talking about just a minute ago. And they look like one of the Monsterphilia helpers, wearing some goggles. And then after that, it looks like he's looking at Belle, who's protecting Wiene, holding his hand in front of her. Belle's seen fighting some monsters, armored dragon guy, over and over. We see a harpy fighting with Belle, I think. And then we see them clash. We see him and the Monsterphilia guy crash. Then we see Belle and his monster team, I'm assuming, which again includes a harpy or a Valkyrie. I think that's a gargoyle. And I think that black dragon, I think it's the armored dragon guy that I was talking about. So he might be an ally. And Bell just looks so cool. Oh, he looks so cool in that scene. We see a little bit of Fells, a little bit of Uranus. We see a little bit of people. We see the scene between Aes and Bell. And a little close-up that Aes really is pissed off. And Bell is really determined to just get past her. So conflicts between the relationships, I'm assuming. Hermes and Asphere are watching over the entire city of Arario, as they can do. And then I'm assuming that's how the theme song ends. And no, it ends with the entire Familia looking up into the sky and being like, yes, we are cool. And then, of course, the bell. And that's it. And then we're treated with the title of the next episode, which has already come out, which is called Monster One Wing. Pog Champ. Oh my god. It's shaping up to be a Pog season. Monster Party. It's a Monster Mash, folks. So, So, they're going to try to... Hestia Familia might be the first Familia to close the gap. To close the gap so humans and monsters can somewhat live in harmony. Very interesting. I wouldn't have expected that at all. On top of that, I am still curious if anyone's gonna find out about this whole thing, and there'll be like a full-on war about it, maybe. But I'm not sure about the fact that and of course, Monsterphilia leader guy, Akelo's Familia might be might be related to that Monsterphilia looking guy. I'm assuming the reason why he's bad is because he captures a lot of monsters. I think that's what I forgot to mention from the whole Hermes meeting with his Familia. He mentioned that his Familia mentioned that they found a bunch of monsters tied up in cages. And so apparently Hermes' Familia knows about these things. It's I don't know what's going on, dude. It's just it looks like such a this season so far, it's more intriguing than epic. I'd say it's more of it's more mysterious than epic as season 2. But either way, I'm very excited. Tomorrow we're going to be covering episode 2. But before we end the episode off, we got to do the side story. But at the end of the day, man, Wiene is just so fucking adorable. It's so adorable. All right, so we're going to do side story 1. Let's do it. Are we going to see Wiene? Are we going to hear Wiene's voice here? 4 days after Wiene, the Vulia was captured by Hestia Familia. Whew. Okay. Gonna talk? Wiene. She's sleeping? Is she sleeping, guys? She's sleeping. Shh. This is cool. Yeah, she is. Good. So this 4 days, okay. Pog. Rivalry question mark? Oh, potato snacks. Hestia trying to get Wiene to eat potato snacks. Interesting. Good. Glad to hear. Who are we going to hear from next? Still Bell? Alright. Oh? What? Hmm. You think about this 4 days after? Don't regret being a hero, my guy. Don't regret it. Exactly. Don't be harsh on yourself, Belle. You've taken the first step of 1,000,000 to make the world a better place for monsters. Oh, that's right. You are the goddess of Hearth. Hesty, you're so nice. You're so fucking wholesome. Aww. Oh, we see her. We see. Is she gonna speak? Are we gonna hear her speak? Are we gonna hear her speak? Oh, hey, vey. Aww. Aww. That's so adorable. Is there more? Oh. This is a story of a day after they... This is a story of a day after they turned bygone days. Oh no, oh no, oh I called it. Oh, I called it. Shit's gonna go down. I mean, we already know shit's gonna go down, but shit's gonna go down even harder, folks. It's about to get real fucking real. Alright, well. Do you have any final thoughts? Yes. This season is so exciting. Look, let me tell you, Belle? Look, I thought Belle was gonna go out full out thiefer boy, but he's still the same old Belle. He's still the same old beautiful boy Belle. Sure, he's worried, but how could I ever think that Belle would be a straight thief? Sure, he might have his interactions and may look like one maybe to other people, but how dare I have thought? How dare would I think that Belle would be hated by all Arario first episode in? How dare I? Even though it's painfully obvious that's probably going to happen at the end. Anyway, I'm very excited. I'm also very excited because this might be a full season arc. I'm thinking this whole season might just be trying to build the bridge between monsters and humans. That would be so cool. That would be so cool. Oh my god. Also, does this mean that we get like more people in the Hestia Familia? Because if Belle's gonna create a team with all them monsters, I wonder if all them monsters are also gonna be a part of Hestia Familia. I don't know. I'm very excited. I'm also very excited to have seen Laloon in the show, because I don't think I've seen Laloon in the show before. Yeah, I don't think I have. So that was very exciting to see. Now that I've started season 3 of To Memoria Freese and seen Laloon, I think I'm ready to go and watch Sword of Ratoria. But I'll do that at a later date. I think tonight what I'm gonna do is probably rewatch the episode. Oh, it's such a good episode. Anyway, the last thing I want to say Belle is so much cooler looking this season. I know I said about his hair and all this kind of stuff, but he just looks he's so much more he just feels so much more powerful this season. I mean, y'all should have seen that opening scene, which I assume you have if you watched the first episode of season 3, but if you haven't, also, sorry that I didn't say spoilers, did I? I didn't call a spoiler alert and be like, yo, y'all should watch the first episode before listening to the review. I hope y'all did that. But if you didn't, here's a warning from now on. Before you watch, if you're watching through the playlist and you see that an episode, that a season 3 episode is gonna occur, is gonna be talked about, make sure that before you watch it, you watch the episode itself. But if you don't feel like doing that, I completely understand. If you just want to hear the whole episode from me and then watch it after, that's fine. Do what you want. You're free to do what you want, folks. This has been an incredible episode. I can't believe I just watched episode 1 of Danmachi 3. I'm so happy to be a part of this game. I'm so happy to play this game and be a part of the franchise, be a part of, not the franchise, but be a part of the fan base, be a part of just following the game for this long. I'm so happy that it's brought me here. Anyway, tomorrow, I'm going to have a full-on discussion about episode 2. Sunday, hopefully we're going to cover all of New Generation Pop Stars. And another quick thing that I want to say, that I actually, did stuff today. Me, Nick, Snowy being the new friendo on the Modded SMP, we all did stuff. I built a ship. We all went on that ship. We found a place to settle on. I started building a dock. They actually built 2 smaller ships for themselves because it was too laggy on my ship. I built a little dock, all this kind of stuff. I might join them in a bit if they're still online. But yeah, we're having fun over there. I tried to record it, but I didn't feel like recording it in the end. So yeah, but that's episode 1 reviewed of Danmachi 3. I have all the notes. I'm gonna write notes for the next episode, because that was really, really fun to do. So, yeah. Until tomorrow, folks, this has been I. I'm probably going to talk with Nick for the next 5 hours. And until tomorrow, folks, arigatou gozaimasu for watching another episode of Dungeon no Motomeru no Mashi ga Teiru Daro Ka Memoria Freese Y3. Finally, we're reviewing Season 3 in Y3. You guys so much for watching, and sayo.